I am so excited. I'm actually thrilled to be here with Anke Beeren and talk about how women network differently. Welcome on the show.
Thanks for having me here, Sigrun, and inviting me again.
So we are here to talk about a topic dear to your heart, networking. But before we dive into that, how come this is now your passion project?
Yeah, it's a long story. I have tried several things in my whole life, but especially also in my online business since 2018, beginning of 2018. I've tried different programs, and I think it comes back to the what is my passion and what is my role, what is my real talent. So I was in the role of a teacher, a mentor, consultant, things like this. And then at some point, I came back to what I originally did a few years ago for quite a year, some years. It was group facilitation. And I realized that this is really my zone of genius because there are a lot of super teachers out there, super mentors. And I'm also a good one. It's not that I can't do it, but I'm multi-passionate. I'm also, I think, a bit multi-talented, and that's not always an advantage. It was already in school. I couldn't decide what to do because I was good in almost everything. And it was like, okay, now I have to find my way. So I went into this online business and I tried out a lot of things. I had programs, masterminds, online courses, everything. And it was quite successful. But at some point, it was for me like, but this is not really what I want to do. And then I came back to my original fascination of group facilitation. And then the idea came to my mind, okay, I love to create rooms, spaces where collective intelligence is enhanced and unleashed, and where people just come together because I know how to design the processes so that all the best practice, all the resources come up to the surface. And then the idea was born, okay, let's do this. And facilitate processes so that people can network together and grow their networks, because I think it's one of the most important things if you are at a certain point in your online business, to network and to be in the room with like-minded people.
Well, that's probably why your fascination and my fascination was masterminds, is because you bring people at a similar level together, and then masterminding should take place and you are just the facilitator. But we know a lot of masterminds online require coaching and they're not real masterminds. And so something else was needed to go away from the masterminds that are being sold to actually go into like, hey, we are bringing a group of people together and they're networking. Yeah. So you have created this club out of nothing, a totally new concept. Was it not scary to start something brand new that you didn't even have a role model for it, or barely? Maybe we saw something in the United States, but not in Europe. Nothing similar to what you wanted to create. Was that not scary?
Absolutely. It was. Well, so online business is always, it's a self-development, I don't know, rocket or something. And this is, so I really stopped all my other programs. I had this idea and I thought this is so much needed. And I really absolutely believe in it, but it still was very scary in the beginning. And then, because I was in your mastermind last year, I also got the support and also the feedback of the people who were like, also the clients who could be in this network. They all said, yes, this is needed, go for it. So I also got the support of it. And then I started out thinking, okay, how do I attract the people? Because it is not known, it is needed, but how do I get the people in there? How do I attract the people? Because I don't want to be in a convincing business. I don't want to tell everybody, yes, it is needed and you have to do it. So what I did first was using my own network. And that was also scary because I now approached those who were far ahead of me. And I asked them to come into the advisory board. And from that, I created, all said yes. I had 6 people in mind. I asked them, they were all networking together. So they were talking together with each other, I guess. And then they also were convinced of the whole project, of the mission. And then they said, yes, okay, we are going to be the advisory board. And then I had 6 people who were already role models. And then I could start and attract others. And I just did it like, okay, let's just try it for 4 months for free. And then we had like, I don't know, it was more than 30, almost 40 people in this free phase already. Yeah. So yeah, it really took off right from the beginning. And then after 4 months, then it is, okay, now you have to pay for it. So it was again very, very scary. Yeah. who is going to stay in the club? And 50% stayed. So this was really amazing. And it was already also, because you're talking about a mastermind, the difference from a network to a mastermind is a network is larger. It is the numbers that also is a benefit. Yeah. So you can start a network with 6 people, but it's not a network. So it's not a club. Yeah.
No. And we know the advantage of a mastermind. You know, they completely stand alone as their own benefit. And I would say probably most of your club members are in a mastermind as well. And the network is an addition. It's not either or, it's actually both. And then the question arises, maybe with our listeners, like, what's the difference between a network and a mastermind?
Yeah, so I think the main difference is in a mastermind, you often have someone who is also a coach or a mentor who is a bit farther than the others in the mastermind. So there might be some coaching and mentor elements in it. But it's not in a club. So it's absolutely not about me. I give my experience. I share everything I have, like all the club members too, but it's not about me coaching or mentoring. And then the next difference is we are not doing hot seats at all. It is not about, I have a problem, I am in the hot seat, and all the others are going to brainstorm and discuss with me about my challenges. So we have other formats, and we can talk about that too, but I think this is the main difference, because masterminds are all about hot seats, and the network is not about hot seats. And then the size. So I don't want to limit the network or the club, because I think the more the merrier. So we have more resources, we have more access to other networks, more wisdom, everything you can benefit from.
Yeah. And I would also say a mastermind is often like a smaller group, like my mastermind, Red Circle, is 10 to 12 people, and it's January to December. It's like 1 year. And then, you know, some people renew for another year, but it's like, it's this group that gels together and gets to know each other intimately and is helping each other. And a network is more about like, oh, I need help with this, I'll talk to that person. Or, well, does someone know somebody that does that? And it's more that finding the go-to people within the network. And the bigger the network is, the better, because there are more go-to people out there. Yeah. So I am already imagining some questions coming up from my listeners. Network, mastermind, why do I need to be in both? Let's talk about how women network differently, or why they are not networking enough. I have noticed, I was CEO for 10 years before, and I noticed the men having a very strong network. And if you lost a job or left a job, you immediately had a new job through your network as a man. And women don't have that network. You think in the corporate world, it is very hard to go to a woman and say, hey, I'm looking for a job. Can you help me out? I would have typically gone to a man for that question. And why do you think women do not build networks like men?
Yeah, that's really interesting, because also what you're telling now about the corporate world, I have read about a study that women who have like an inner circle of, or a network of other female leaders are more successful. And we don't think that we need it, but when we are in a situation where we might need it, we think, it would have been better to build it, because we are still in a minority, also in the entrepreneurship area, but also in companies. Women are still in a minority to have really this leader positioning. So I think if you are in a minority, it is even more important to have a network, to support each other and to climb that ladder. And also, like, if we want to grow to a next stage, you need to have people in your network that are at that next stage. And women tend to stay at a certain level and have friends in their network. And if they outgrow their network, they are not thinking of, okay, I'm also going to leave this network because they're all my friends, and then we stay in there, and we also limit ourselves to grow out into the next phase, into the next level.
So it sounds like women are not really networking. They have friendships. Friendships, and then they stay loyal to these friendships, even if it does not serve them. Now, it might serve them personally, so you shouldn't leave your friends. We're not saying that, but I remember being in some sort of a mastermind with women who were starting out at the same time as me. This is 2013, even before I officially started, and we were all thinking about how do we go online, and as soon as things started to take off for me, I realized I had to leave this group of women because they did not have the same ambitions as me. And I think that's where the struggle is, that women just stay. Yeah. And so they are limiting their own potential because they haven't found a new peer group. Yeah. I also had the feeling that somehow this happens naturally. Like I see it with my husband. He went to the military in Switzerland. He automatically has that network from the military, or he was in sports and he has that network. And then, I'm an anomaly. I come into Switzerland and then I have zero network, so I have to build it. But I feel that women don't make it a priority.
Yeah. One thing is making it a priority, and also, I also came across one very, very funny study. I don't know if it's really special about women, but people in general tend to not like networking. They feel physically dirty afterwards. Yeah, it's really crazy. That was a study. Participants had to do some kind of a networking task, and then they could online shop something and put something in the cart. And then they saw that most of them afterwards were deciding for shampoo, hand sanitizers, everything to wash yourself and to clean yourself, because people feel dirty if they have to proactively, strategically, professionally network. So it's for women, it's also very natural. So it's okay, and it's not inauthentic if you go to a party and you talk to somebody. That's fine. So that's okay. But it's not okay to do it professionally with an intent in mind.
So yeah, I can totally see that. Yeah.
So this was one of my thoughts. Okay, then it's easier if you are in a large network. The barriers go down because you're already in the network, in the club, and it's easier to ask someone else because you don't feel like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm going to ask you something out of the blue.
Exactly. I think that's the reason to join a network, is because everyone is in it for the same reason of wanting to network. Because if we network with strangers, we get this dirty feeling for some weird reason. Especially, I think women do it much more. You know, I studied in Germany, and in hindsight, I realized university time is really a good time to build a network.
Yeah.
And I basically then came back to Iceland without a network. I had only friends from school. And this came slowly clear to me as I read some business books. And I was like, you know, Never Eat Alone and all these books that are out there about networking. I was like, I have to do something about this. And I started to go to conferences. Oh, yeah, that was another thing. I didn't go to conferences because I felt it was not working.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I started to go to conferences. And then I was like, I am going to find 2 new friends here. You know, I would like in my head, because not everyone is a natural networker, and maybe I am, but I had to in the beginning force myself. So I don't know if that's something that you have experienced as well with the women that you work with.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of women also think of themselves, they are introvert. Yeah, that's maybe sometimes it's the case. I'm too. But it's we want to stay in our comfort zone, and we think like of this networking events, like everybody is just coming to me and giving me their business card, and I have to do that too. So we also don't have, well, really strategies how to network easily and with fun. So, and it can be fun.
Absolutely.
But you have to first get out of your comfort zone and have some tools, or yeah.
Absolutely. And you know, just thinking of I remember this one conference where I said I'm going to meet 2 new people. I'm still friends with them today.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I remember who these people are, and they haven't had to help me in any way, but you know, we are friends on LinkedIn, Facebook. I could call them up if I needed any type of help. You don't want to actually reach out to someone when you need help. You want to have that friendship first. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's really an interesting or a very important part. You have to invest in a network before you need it. So it's really this, also like in marketing, it's give, and then ask. So it's better to build a network without an intention in mind, like, oh, I need this person because she's an expert in that and I need it now, or I might need it later. It's just about being curious and open to all the possibilities that can show up. And then networking becomes fun, and you can have the benefits later if you have grown it. So I think it's really an important thing to, if you are building a business, to start as early as possible.
Yeah. So you decided to put some framework around the club that you created that facilitates networking. So first of all, people need to be at a certain revenue level. Why is that?
Yeah, so because of my own experience, I saw that this 6-figure level is some kind of a really a level where you reach it. So if you have proven that you can have an online business with 6-figure revenue, at least in your in a year, you know your ideal client, you know what products you have, you know how to sell, you already have started building a team. So I've been working a lot with beginners, and this is a complete different world, I would say. So I thought, let's put these people who are in the German-speaking area, most of them who have reached that level and are 6 and even 7 figures. So we also have 7-figure female entrepreneurs in the club. They are all mostly in international or US masterminds, building their own network privately. And I felt like, that's what a waste of time and energy. So collectively, because everybody is somewhere else. It's already here in the German-speaking area. Just let's put it together. All the wisdom, all the experiences from these amazing ladies. So it was just like, these are ladies who have reached a certain level. putting them together, and then we can create something amazing. And it was also, for me, it was open. So I didn't know what would happen. I just had a vision or a feeling what could happen. But in the first month, I tried several things, several formats. Some have stayed, some are not there anymore. And that's really amazing.
Yeah, I think the 6-figure level, of course it sounds like a random number, but it's more that, coming back to my experience when I was starting out, the women who didn't have the same ambition as me, I had to leave that group so that it wouldn't hold me back. And one of them even went back to corporate. Another one is barely at 6 figures even after 7 years. So that would not be necessarily a good network for me to be a part of, as it wouldn't help me grow. So I can see that you want to set some framework around it, and it becomes an aspiration actually to kind of get to that level so they can join that network. But we want to talk about how women network differently. We've talked about a lot of the problems, that they focus more on friendships, that they don't network up, that they don't think ahead strategically. So how do you suggest that women go about it? Or let's say, how do you encourage women to network within your club?
Yeah, so we have different formats. One of them, I just like I said, I just tried out, and and then afterwards, everybody was saying, "Oh, when are we doing it again?" So every 1 or 2 or 3 months, it depends a bit on the season, I put up a Google form, and everybody can tick off those who you already know. So just all the names of everybody, and you tick off all. Yeah, you know already. And then I match people together, and I say, okay, you two have to get a meeting, 30 minutes, and you network together. And I just give them an outline they can use if they want to, but you don't have to. And they get 2 people for a month. So it's just 2 30-minute calls. It's nothing. Yeah. But you are, and then you don't have to go to a conference and ask somebody.
Yeah, I know. Because that's scary, because people are not going to a conference maybe to network. I don't know. I just, I started to try it out. But this is facilitated in a way, like you do the prep work, and then they just have to kind of have a scheduling link and say, hey, book in with me and let's talk.
Yeah, and I look at the people. So who might have the same target group, who might have the same amount of revenue. So I matched them together, and I've seen amazing things coming out of this. Corporations, affiliates, clients, podcast guests. So it's very simple, and it's just one small format.
Yeah. And so, because it's facilitated, what could you say that they should do next? Like, how do you keep in touch? There's one thing to connect once. I've connected once with, I don't know, thousands of people. Yeah. But are there any special strategies around keeping up the network?
So I think it's just because they are in a network, and we also have club calls. So you know someone, you're introduced to someone, and then there is no, from my side, there is no strategy, okay, keep in touch, because I think they're all grown up, but we have a lot of meetings or gatherings or possibilities to reconnect and put it to the next level. So what I also do is, and we love this format, is bar camps. So that everybody who has a topic, a question, a learning, something that is really shareable, or even just maybe a question like, how do you do this, or how do you do that? And then these are just 45-minute sessions, and everybody can start a session. And initiate a session. They can facilitate it themselves, and we just set up the whole framework. So the whole connection and interaction, and it becomes a natural thing.
Yeah. And, outside the network, do you have strategies for someone who said, okay, I'm not yet at six figures. I am aspiring to get there. And one day I'll join your beautiful network. How can someone start to network on their own?
Yeah, so there are very, very strategic things you could do. You can just start maybe a Trello board and think of, okay, what are my goals? So first, what is my goal? What do I want to reach with networking? Is it more about visibility? Is it more, I want to have more revenue and clients? Do I need more support? Do I want to gain more knowledge? And then if you have decided on these four parts, one of it, you think, okay, who might help me with that? So I also read the book like not how, but who. So yeah. It's really about who can help me, not how can I do something, but who can help me with that. And then you just, if you are not connected, so there are different levels, grades of connection you have with people, and there are then different strategies you can connect to people. But let's suppose you don't know the person doesn't know you yet. Then you start just following on social media, you start commenting, you start maybe if this person is going live, you start commenting directly, or you share something, and then shortly the person will get you on the radar, and then the next step can be done. So it's not like on LinkedIn, if you get the friends request and then you just put in your pitch and then it that's
no.
it.
What? That doesn't work. That doesn't
work.
No.
And it's really about give. And sometimes people ask also questions, and then maybe you can help. You can give something first.
Yeah. I think that's it was a comment that I heard from Lewis House a long time ago. He's actually known as one of the most networked people in the online industry. And he always comes to someone with thinking of like, how can I help this person? So that's his first question in networking. How can I help you? And then it's become so easy later on, if you at some point in the future want their help, it doesn't feel like you are just asking, you have given up front.
Yeah. And you don't know what that person has. So sometimes it's like, okay, you think, okay, that person might help me in the future with this or that. And then it comes out completely different because there are other things that people can help each other with.
Yeah. Also, my dear friend, and I'm an affiliate partner for her, Selena Su, she has this program Impacting Millions, and she has this concept of Dream 100. Mm-hmm. And that is also something that I think about when it comes to networking. Mm-hmm. You could have your Dream 100 people that you kind of build up over time, that actually I am working on my network versus making it a random thing.
Yeah, that was what I said about this Trello board. Start a Trello board and put in the names. So first of all, be clear on your goals and then start putting in the names. And then it's like everything else. You have to make a habit out of it. It's just like even plan in a 30-minute slot every week. That's enough.
Yeah.
Just starting.
Yeah. And I think it's the same as coming back to the PR analogy. Everybody wants to go into Forbes or some famous magazine, but it's much easier to go on a podcast that your friend has or something like that. I think networking is a little bit similar. Everyone wants to be connected with those who are really far ahead, making 7 or 8 figures. But I'm in a fantastic network in the UK. And we met 7 years ago. Mm-hmm. And then we were all at 6 figures, but we have all grown together. So that's the power of networking as well, is that you have to also network with people at similar level as well as above, so that you also can grow together, because you cannot just say, oh, Oprah, do you want to be my friend?
Yeah. So this is really the balance between, okay, I'm going out of my comfort zone. I'm also reaching out to people who are further ahead, because we don't want the man to be like climbing this ladder. We also want to do it. And at the same time, really being in a network with people who want to grow together, and being aware if you have outgrown your network. And you can still be friends with people. Yes, of course.
Yes. Yes. We want to end with that. You can still be friends. You can still have your friends, but understand they are not necessarily your best business buddies. Yeah. So how can we find out more about the network that you have built? And you have had great success. You're going into your second year now.
Yes.
And super exciting. So what is the best way to find out more about your network?
Yeah, so you can always connect with me on my private profile on Facebook. That's the easy thing. And write me also a message. And then the internet, the website is joinforces.club. And there is everything. So if you're already at that level and you want to apply, you're happily invited.
Yes, if you're already making 6 figures and you are in the German-speaking market, then go hop on over to the show notes and find out more about Anke's club. Anke, I wish you all the best for the second year of your club, and I highly recommend it. I am in the club as well. Yeah, yes. Because I can speak German. So I'll see you over there. Anke, thank you for coming on the show and sharing with us how women can network differently.
Thank you very much.